On this video, we're going to be going over the air brake test procedure. So at this time, I'm going to now take the vehicle. Once the vehicle has aired up to 120 to 125 psi, I am now going to take my key. I'm going to turn my vehicle off, and then I'm going to put the key into the safe start position. I'm going to acknowledge the ABS light that it is operating properly. And then I'm going to acknowledge that I have 120 to 125 on my primary and secondary air gauge. At this moment, now I'm going to let them know that outside that the wheels are chopped. And with the wheels chopped, that I am going to now release the parking brake. When the release of the parking brake has happened, the gauges will begin to fall. Once the gauges stop falling, which will be usually a few psi, once it stops falling, I can now begin to test my system, the supply side, for leaks. I'm going to wait 1 minute, and within that 1 minute, I cannot lose no more than 2 psi on my primary and my secondary air tanks. So I'm going to watch those gauges for 1 minute. After 1 minute has passed, I am now going to take my foot and put my foot on the service brake. This is now the applied side of the air brake test. The air gauges will fall. Once they have settled and stop falling, I will count 1 minute. Within the 1 minute time frame, I cannot lose no more than 3 psi. And we're going to let that 1 minute pass. Once 1 minute has passed, we are now going to check our warning devices. So at that point, you're going to take your foot and begin to fan on and off the brake. As the needles begin to fall around 60 psi, we're going to get the warning light and the warning buzzer. We're going to then continue to fan around 20 to 40 psi. My parking brake will pop out. So the parking brake is now popped out. We're now going to turn the vehicle back on. We're now going to rebuild our air pressure on the primary and secondary tanks. And this concludes this portion of the leak down test. This is not the entire air brake test. This is only checking the applied air and the supplied air for leak down on the primary and secondary air tank.